Hey everyone, it's Victor here, and today I really just wanted to chill out, have a nice, floaty, relaxing talk with you guys. Some days I wake up and I feel like I just want to say something to a camera, and I guess that's most YouTubers. But today feels really strange. I feel calm, and the reason that is strange is because the past couple of weeks I have been pretty bad anxiety-wise. I have not been managing very well. And I think sometimes after we go through a lot of anxiety or a lot of stress, we do reach a point where we feel floaty, because after that stress goes away, we are somewhat relieved. Our body's almost relieved. It feels like you're almost hollowed out with the emotion that you've experienced. And nothing necessarily terrible, really terrible has happened to me. I am just someone that, like many of you, as we've spoken about this before, struggle with anxiety and depression on and off. And so many of us do, and so many of us need to talk about it more, because I still feel like I have to hide how I'm feeling truly inside, because I'm worried about pushing people away. I'm worried about admitting to myself that I have a problem. I'm someone that always gets on with things. I always solve the problem. I'm a problem solver by nature. And I definitely think I am someone who is susceptible to masking how I really feel. And I suppose being in the acting community, you do that as your bread and butter. You mask yourself and cover it with another person, a persona, a script, a different emotion that you can conjure from your vast library that you have accumulated over the years. So really today's video is just about being honest with how you're feeling, and I just wanted to make this as an opportunity for you to think about how you're feeling right now. You may think about how you feel all the time. You may be someone who's very transparent about your emotions, and you may tell your friends, you may tell your family, which is wonderful and it's very healthy. And if you are someone who does that, then I'm so happy, because that is the secret, is communication, is getting it out there, is seeking therapy. Because if you trap emotions, bad thoughts, any of these negative feelings that we have, they will fester and they do rot inside you. And recently a few instances have happened around me, not affecting me directly or even my family directly, but instances that have made me deeply contemplate the importance of communicating your feelings. And I don't want this to be a depressing video. In fact, I want it to be quite the opposite. I want you to feel this floaty calmness that I feel today, because I've realized that no matter what our mental state may be, no matter what we've gone through, there's always another day, there's always another sunrise, and that's something I always hold on to. If you're doing all you can to heal as a person, the best thing you can do is give yourself time and realize that it's not an overnight fix. Go back to basics and think about what genuinely, in the past, even if you have to go all the way back, what has made you feel calm, what has made you feel happy, even if it's just for a split second. So if you feel like you have a childhood memory, for example, I have a childhood memory I want to share with you. It was a summer morning. At that time, I had a little pony, who I used to hang out with all day long when I was about 10 years old. We would spend time in the field together. I would go out and take him riding around the forest, and we'd get lost together. And I'm going to try not to get emotional while talking about this, because he is sadly passed now, and he meant a lot to me, this little horse. One day I woke up, I don't think I'd even eaten breakfast, and I'm actually amazed my mother even let me do this, but 10 years old, I wandered out of the house, caught my pony, wandered out into the forest, and I got lost. At the time, I think I had a mobile phone, but I don't think I had any signal because we were in the middle of a forest. I come from a very rural area, so you can get lost. Well, especially when you're 10 years old and you don't really know where you're going. And I remember having a moment of, I don't know, it was panic, but it was also wonder, because I was there with my horse who I trusted. I say horse, he was tiny. He was 11 2, hands high. Look it up if you don't know how tall that is, but it's a small pony. And I don't know why, but I decided to kind of loosen the reins and stop trying to control where he was going, and he just started walking. And he just started walking and walking around the corner through these gorgeous forest tracks with the sound of the birds and the smell of the pine trees. And he took me home. He took us back to the field where I caught him in the morning, and I didn't feel scared. I felt guided. I felt like I'd relinquished control, and I don't recommend you do this. I'm just telling you about this kind of remarkable instance because horses have a wonderful sense of direction, and the fact that I had such a close connection with him, I think he kind of somehow in his horse brain understood that I wanted to go home, but he brought me home. And that's something I think about a lot in terms of precious memories go, and a lot of my childhood memories are my wonderful childhood memories are the times that I would ride out with him. And the reason I'm talking about this, and I'm bringing up beautiful childhood memories or calm childhood memories, is because you need to tap into how you felt in those moments and find what it was specifically. Losing yourself, losing myself in the forest, trusting your gut, trusting in an animal, being with animals, being in nature, being separate from technology, that is what makes me feel whole. It's what makes me feel at peace. Being in touch with nature, even if I can't be in, for example, simple thing, having a bunch of flowers in the house. Even though I don't earn very much, I always try to have fresh flowers, locally sourced flowers, because I think it's really important to have nature in your home. And I live in a basement flat, so I really need the light. That's something that I struggle with, is the light of the outside and the feeling of nature in the inside. I need that from the outside to come in. For me, nature is extremely healing, and I know you've probably heard that a million times over from every therapist or person who has tried to help you. But for me, maybe it's because of my childhood upbringing that nature has been such a huge healer for me, and is something I always seek out. If I'm feeling desperate, if I'm feeling low, if I'm feeling hopeless, I go out there and I remind myself that there is a world out there, there's nature out there, and nature is more powerful than any of us. I like to get lost in a storm. Getting lost here seems to be a theme. Maybe that's something that I need. I need adventure. I need new places. I need to feel the thrill of being lost and finding safety in that vulnerability, which is a bit of an oxymoron. But perhaps the essence of what makes me happy is travel, new things, the fact that I am such a small part of this endless universe. Looking up at the stars does the same thing for me, where I can just lose myself in the glory of it, the unknown of it. And that's something that, again, this is like therapy for me. I'm realizing more and more the unknown is something that I find very fascinating. looking at the stars, realizing that the things out there I might never understand, that none of us may never understand in our lifetime, that is, that brings me, ironically, back down to earth when I need to be brought back down to earth, when life's little stresses get in the way, when I have to clean the kitchen for the 100th time, or the cats make a mess on the floor and I have to tidy it up, or I'm late for work, or I'm ill, or I have a bout of anxiety for no reason. There's so many things that can bring us down, which are everyday stresses, things that make our world small, that make our world feel less vast than it actually is. And I know for some people, the vastness of the universe does not necessarily calm them. So if it doesn't, I understand that. For me, feeling like I am just a small part in such a huge picture calms my everyday stresses, because they disappear. They become so minute when I think about myself from the perspective of how endless our world is, how endless our universe is. Why should I worry about the out-of-date food in my fridge? But I think the biggest thing to remember, if you are going through a rough patch, if you are struggling with anxiety, if you feel trapped in a situation, or you're just having a bad day, it's impossible to be happy forever. Even if you are searching for that calmness, that happiness, and you want to maintain it every single day, that's not possible. It's not possible to be happy every single day. And that's healthy. It's healthy to have bad days. It's okay. If you try to seek this impossible goal of happiness and calmness every single day, you will be disappointed. And I don't want you to feel disheartened by that. I want you to feel released and allow yourself to feel these things and realize that this is today, but it might not be tomorrow. Maybe you've been feeling bad for months, weeks. Maybe you're going through a really stressful situation in your life right now and you don't see any escape from it. But this is not going to be the rest of your life. And I've said this before in other videos where I'm trying to comfort you and talk you through things. But I can't say it enough. It's not the rest of your life. Your life will change so much. My life has changed so much since I first started making videos on this channel, first started talking to you about what I wanted and where I wanted to be and my mental state. And I feel like a different person, and I'm in a completely different place now. And that can be you as well, even in terms of my transition as a trans man. I started making videos before I was pre-everything, pre-hormones, pre-surgery, and now I feel in a state of wholeness and a state of, I just feel like I accept who I am. I might not be perfect, none of us are, but I am in acceptance of who I am. And that was not me all those years ago at the start of this channel. That was not me. I was naive, which was natural because I was much younger. I think we shouldn't punish each other for being naive. That is just something that comes with time and age and experience. I think naivety can be a beautiful thing sometimes, as long as it doesn't harm anyone. I think having big dreams is a wonderful thing. I think stepping into life with such hope is something that I never want to lose, and I find it hard sometimes to hold on to that hope, but somehow it always comes back, even if it takes a little longer sometimes. So please, don't get rid of your hope. That's what I want you to take from this video today. Try to hold on to those feelings you felt. Try to hold on to the times you have felt peaceful. Try to remember what made you feel that way. Unbox that. think about how you can implement that now in your life, even if it's in a small way, if it's just with buying a bunch of flowers, even if it's just taking a walk, if it's taking up that hobby again that you used to love, if it's calling that person, seeing that person that made you feel so happy. It may be about rekindling past relationships, past friendships of people you miss. It might be about finally pursuing that career you've wanted to do, maybe a career you dreamt of as a child. I don't want to sound preachy, I don't want to sound pretentious, but I think that your inner child is always there, and I think you have to heal that inner child. Some of us have to heal from childhood trauma, some of us don't. Some of us just need to encourage that child to thrive even more. But I just hope that you can find your inner child and you can give them a hug and tell them it's going to be okay. Growing up, sometimes you need to become the parent you needed or the friend you needed. Sometimes you need to look at yourself, outside of yourself, and give the advice you wish you had had when you were younger, because it's never too late to give that advice and it's never too late to act upon it. I'm so glad to be back on here and making more content. It makes me happy to be able to talk to you directly, switch on my microphone and just feel like we're in the same room having a chat, because mental health is really important to me. It's a big part of my life, and I think everyone should think about their mental health, even if you feel like you're not struggling. Even just thinking about mental health of your friends and of your family, because someone you know will be struggling and they might not even have told you. So tell your family and your friends that you love them. Take the time to do that now if you want. Take this as an opportunity to text someone you love and tell them that you want them to be here and you want them to stay. They might really need to hear it. But I'm probably going to go for a walk now, because I think I need my nature time. I think I need my time out in the trees and in the rain. I love being caught in the rain. I love being caught in storms. Something special about that. And this time of year is perfect for it. Very, very good for it. But for now, thank you all so much for watching and listening. And I will see you very soon.